Hi everybody, Puffin here. Thanks for tuning in to Puffin's Pothead Passages. I've had so much fun responding to Bible stories, Bible verses in the last few days on some videos that I decided I'd try to make a regular thing of it. And I just woke up in the morning, smoked my first bowls of the day, and feel like the best buzz of the day, and decided I would bring my Bible that I read from earlier and just turn to a random page and respond to what I read. So here we go. I ended up on Mark 2:6. But there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reasoning in their hearts, why doth this man speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only? And immediately, when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned with themselves, he said unto them, why reason these things in your heart? So it says they were reasoning in their heart. They were sitting there reasoning in their hearts. And he just knew what they were thinking and spoke to them of what they were thinking. Whether it is easier to say to the sick of the palsy, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise, take up thy bed and walk. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. He saith to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, arise, and take up thy bed, and go thy way into thine house. And immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch they were all amazed, and were glorified God, saying, we never saw it on this fashion. And he went forth again by the seaside, and all the multitude resorted unto him, and he taught them. So that starts the next kind of story. That's one story. And if I go back to the beginning of the chapter, because it seems like context, because after this, the multitude's going to follow him, and then he's going to, as he passed by, he saw, the 2:14 reads, as he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the receipt of custom, and said unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. At the receipt of custom, I don't know if that's like a customs agent, like a tax person, or something else that I don't understand. But if we go back to the beginning of the chapter 2, and again he entered in Capernaum after some days, and it was noised that he was in the house. And straightway, so a town called Capernaum that he'd been to before he came back to, and it got around that he was in the house, which I guess would be maybe Mary's house. They went into Capernaum, and straightway the Sabbath day he entered into the synagogue and taught. And that was from the previous chapter. I just saw the Capernaum stick out. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them. So the house got full. No, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. And they came unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. So 4 people carried in someone who was so sick they couldn't walk, I guess. And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, too many people were there for anyone to get close, they uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken it up, so they came in through the roof, let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay, and lowered the bed down to him. When Jesus saw their faith, I guess that they had taken so many pains and gone to such trouble, we can just get this guy to him, then he will be healed. He said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee, which cures him, but it's also the forgiveness of sins, which that's when the verse that I started is triggered, and that's now almost 4:20 on my recording. But there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reasoning in their hearts, why did this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only? And immediately when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, he said unto him, why reason these things in your hearts? So it's very interesting to me that he can tell what people are thinking, just hearing their thoughts. Whether it is easier to say to the sick of the palsy, thy sins be forgiven, or to say, arise, take up thy bed and walk. That seems kind of like the same thing. I'm not really understanding what the difference is there. He's saying which one is easier. Or maybe it's okay and expected to be able to cure, but not necessarily forgive the sin. But you didn't make the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. So he's saying he does have the power to forgive sins. I say, arise and go and take up thy bed and walk. I just feel like I'm not quite understanding that there's some type of contrast between being able to forgive sins and being able to cure people. That they're not the same thing, which I think is good news, because I don't like to think that people are like everything bad that happens is somehow some type of punishment for a sin. But and immediately it's also like the guy doesn't get up and walk until he tells him to get up and walk. So almost like when he forgave him, it didn't cure him. Let me see how that said. He says some of the sins be forgiven. He doesn't mention that there's an effect. Maybe we have to compare with this same story in other books, but it's an interesting account that already leaves me wondering. I hope when I read something, I'm going to have some great insight. Because you always feel creative and thoughtful when you get a good buzz from weed. And I don't have one, but I am definitely perplexed and interested. Maybe I'll just read one more verse because I've got some time on this video. After passing Levi, the son of Alphaeus, at the receipt of customs, and he said to him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. If we go to the next chapter, I can probably fit it in. And it came to pass that as Jesus sat at meat in the house, many publicans and sinners sat also together with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many, and they followed him. I better go. I'll come back soon, though. Thanks for watching.